Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Ridgewood. My name is Anita Young, and I'm the Sunday Associate this morning. Please take a moment to silence your electronic devices. We recognize and realize that we must live a life with love in our hearts. For all, regardless of our beliefs, we are willing to live with love. To do that, we must first seek to know ourselves and acknowledge our own vulnerability, strengths, and weaknesses. We are on a journey to create a better world by continuing our own growth. This morning, as you walked into our sanctuary, you passed a peace pole with the words, "May peace prevail on earth," written in many languages, symbolizing our work for social justice issues. You saw a rainbow flag in support of the GLBTIQ community. It keeps growing. I don't know. I think there's another letter there. And a banner against racism as we stand against discrimination and inequality. Do these symbols and words reflect your desire for a better world? While we believe in the beauty of human diversity and a belief in our own interconnection and interdependence, you make a difference by how you live your lives through your actions and words. You have chosen freely to be part of this service and/or faith. We come together to support and encourage each other to seek our truths and to live them openly with love. Thank you once again for joining us and giving us each the courage to live our lives authentically. If you want to know more about the congregation and who we are and what we do, please make sure to fill out a green sheet in the foyer over there of this building. This building is referred to as the Anderson. If you are joining us by Zoom, please fill out the forms that are being dropped in the chat. Following the service, please stay for refreshments and conversations. Online, we have break rooms for fellowship after service. Finally, today, we are hosting a special program here in Anderson immediately after the service. In order to quickly set up, we ask that everyone please move to fellowship. Fellowship is the room down there. For post-worship conversation without delay. Thank you for understanding.
With all of our announcements delivered, the energy of the room settling down, I invite you to take a deep breath and to center yourselves to the sound of the singing bowl and the sounds of life all around you in this space. And maybe if we're very quiet, well, we can hear the hum of electricity through the different systems that we're using through the speakers, and maybe we can hear some birds. Although early, today we are marking through reflection the observance of Passover, at least themes lifted up through the observance of Passover. Whatever our family history or faith of origin or philosophy, the Passover message of liberation holds power and deep meaning for each of us. During the observance of Passover and the Seder ritual, we are reminded that in each generation, each person is obligated to see themselves through as though they came personally from Egypt. I'm trying to be very gender neutral in my language and just really tripped myself up there. But he, she, or they personally came forth from Egypt. We are reminded to see our freedom, to really see it, to feel its fullness and appreciate the precious experience that it is. As free people, we are obliged to liberate the enslaved, to uplift the oppressed, and to unshackle the confined. This is the work of Passover. This is the work of being human. In every era, though, there have been human beings held in bondage, exploited and dehumanized by other human beings. In every era, there have been pharaohs, individuals, and institutions that hinder and harm the well-being of members of the human family. At this moment in human history, we are particularly sensitive to the needs of people all around the world, those of Israel, civilians in Gaza. We think of the ongoing armed conflict in Ukraine, and those all around the world, and there are far too many to name, all around the world engaged in armed conflict, those who live under threat, close to home and far, far away. As we hold in our consciousness the present-day suffering of members of the human family, let us commit ourselves to living the deep meaning of the ancient Passover ritual. Let us bring compassion and mercy, dignity and freedom to the whole human family. Let us keep in our hearts the truth that none are free until all are free. Today we reflect upon the observance of Passover and commit to liberation for the whole human family. We invite the Spirit to be with us. I invite you to rise as you're comfortable and join in singing our opening hymn, number 389. If you're choosing to use a hymnal,
I would play it through once, and then we will sing it 3 times.
Please join in the lighting for the chalice. The words are on the screen. No, you can do that. Okay. We light this chalice for the hope of truth, the warmth of love, and the energy of action as we gather together in the circle of community.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Guardian del mio da qui I don't know, Miguel. How can we follow that? Oh, look who we have here, Miguel. It's me. I'm the one. I'm the seeker of being connected, creative, intense, intelligent. I'm a woman of the Unitarian Society. I'm ready to enlighten you about our spectacular auction.
Hi, Hetty. What's this about an auction?
Well, Miguel, let me tell you. This auction is going to be the talk of the town. You see, it's not just any auction. No, it's an extravaganza of epic proportions.
An extravaganza, you say?
Oh, yes. Picture this. Special raffles, exclusive items, enough excitement to make your socks fly off. You even bid in line right up until the last moment.
But why do I have to go in person? Can't I just bid online?
What fun is that, Miguel? You wouldn't want to miss out on the thrill of the chase now, would you? Plus, who knows what surprises await you at the event April 27th here at 6:30 in person, right here.
I'm not sure.
Oh, come on, nonsense. You gotta come, Miguel. Think of all the great opportunities you could seize.
Opportunities for what exactly?
Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, I know. There's a lovely Cape Cod cottage. Very reasonable. Or there's a beach vacation, Asbury Park for a weekend. Look at the concert tickets to Carnegie Hall.
Wow, those do sound interesting.
Well,
what else is there?
There's so much more. There's dancing lessons, ballroom, a garden tour of the Greenwood Gardens with a picnic lunch, a Swedish massage. And if you're feeling lucky, there's a 50-50 raffle for just $10.
All right, Hetty, you've convinced me. I'll come to the auction.
It's settled. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime, Miguel. We're going to make some memories at the Unitarian Society's auction. See you there.
See you there.
Well, my name is Hetty Hirschman, and I'm a member of the board of the Unitarian Society of Ridgewood. One of the promises that we make to each other in our shared covenant at USR is to support this congregation with our presence, gifts, and service, and to care for each other and the long-term well-being of our community. Our caring team helps us to care for one another. We'd like to remind you each Sunday that the team can be reached by calling the office and speaking to Ann. You can let her know if you want to share a celebration or if you have a need that this congregation can help meet. The work of the caring team is vital, so please let us know if you want to participate in that work. We care for the long-term well-being of our community by investing in the vision of justice and freedom that we share. We remember that it will take all our different talents, gifts, and support to make that vision a reality. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
All right, as you can see in the order of service, Dayenu is a song that is traditionally sung at the Seder. This song is well over 1,000 years old. And basically what Dayenu is saying is, if God had only done this one thing for us, that would have been enough. But he did this, that's enough. He did this. If God could, you know, if he could, if he would just do this one thing, it's enough. But look at all the things he did. The song originally has 15 verses. We're just going to do 6 verses. We'll do the single version. But what we would really love, Peter and I would really love, is if you guys all sing along with the chorus, Dayenu. Okay? All right. You ready, son?
I'm ready, Dad.
Had he led us out of Egypt, only led us out of Egypt, never punished our tormentors, Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Had he punished our tormentors, only punished our tormentors, never given us a home, Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Had he given us our homeland, only given us our homeland, never granted us the Sabbath, Dayenu. Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. Had he granted us the Sabbath, only granted us the Sabbath, never given us the Torah, Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Had he given us the Torah, only given us the Torah, holy Torah, had he given Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Had he given us the Torah, only given us the Torah, and not brought us into Israel, Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu.
Thank you.
What a lovely and rich ministry of music you all enjoy here in Ridgewood. I really appreciate it. It's wonderful. Thank you. Every Sunday, you have such marvelous, talented singers and performers. Thank you, Ron, for the ministry you bring to this congregation. And now that you have been lifted up and brightened by the experience of singing Dayenu, I'm going to bring you down. That's my job today. I hope not, but it's a little heavy. It's a heavy topic. In anticipation of Passover, we are some 8 days, what day is it now? 7 days out. Passover begins on the 22nd. I have been thinking about the pharaohs, plural. First, rarely mentioned, hardly remembered, is the Pharaoh who welcomed the Israelites when famine struck in Canaan. As the story goes, that Pharaoh said as they arrived, "I will give you the best land in Egypt, and you will eat from the best the land produces." At first, the Israelites held an honored place in their new land, in their new home. And with the passing of the generations, with socio-political shifts, the Israelites went from welcome guests in Egypt to feared aliens to oppressed slaves, as the story goes. And we all know that hard-hearted Pharaoh of the Exodus. You know, the harsh and controlling Pharaoh who didn't want to liberate the Israelites, the Pharaoh who, through his persistent refusal to free the children of Israel, brought 10 plagues, 10 different forms of suffering upon all of the people of Egypt before he'd consider relenting. He was content to punish everyone in order to maintain his tyrannical control. It took the death of his firstborn son and the firstborn sons of all Egyptians for the Pharaoh to say, okay, I've had it, I've had enough, out you go, and told the Israelites to leave. And then after he'd freed them, he changes his mind, of course. And we know how that goes for the soldiers. Not good. These days, the solitary Pharaoh of the Passover story has sadly been replaced with many forces and sources of oppression. And like the Israelites, in our ever-shifting landscape, our place at the table, our assurance of welcome, and our freedoms are less certain. Some among us are sliding quickly into an increasingly threatened social status. There has been a stunning spike in anti-LGBTQ bills introduced in the last year. 510 bills were introduced in state legislatures in 2023. 510. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, that is nearly 3 times as many as were introduced in 2022, which is horrible anyway. And every year since 2019, when the number of anti-LGBTQ bills was 3, that number has been rising. 3 stinks. 510 is frightening, terrifying, worrisome. We can worry for ourselves, we can worry for our loved ones very easily. Book bans are on the rise in too many places, showing expanded censorship on the themes of race, sexual orientation, and gender identity. These bills are predicated on a belief that queer identities are a contagion, while straight, cisgendered identities are somehow more pure or correct, according to one ACLU communications strategist. The language of purity is terrifying. There are too many in positions of power and authority who, through their actions, seem driven to assert their views and eliminate the freedoms of others. The freedom to be who you are. The freedom to be who you are from the day you were born. The freedom to read whatever you choose. The freedom to love. The freedom to decide whether and when to carry a pregnancy to term. Every day these days, we see evidence of Pharaoh's presence and the way some use their power to shackle the bodies and psyches and spirits of people. There are so many pharaohs. Today, there are almost 50 million people around the world living in slavery. That is a stunning number of people. More than any other time in human history. Of course, there are more of us on the planet than there have ever been at any other time in human history, but close to 50 million people are enslaved in different ways, and 1/4 of them are children. Modern slavery permeates every aspect of our society. It is woven into our clothes. It lights up our electronic devices. It seasons our food. to name just a few of the ways those who are enslaved touch the lives of each of us every day. At its core, modern-day slavery is a manifestation of extreme inequality. Modern-day slaves are people who are forced to work against their will. They're women and young girls who are forced into marriage. They are people who, under the threat of violence, are sexually exploited and trafficked. There are others who, under the threat of violence, as if this isn't bad enough, are threatened with having their organs harvested and sold. That's a booming business, apparently. The most widespread form of slavery is debt bondage, when people trapped in poverty borrow money and are forced to work to pay off that debt. We know how that scheme works. The Pharaoh of Exodus has been replaced with governments, businesses, and individuals that through greed and an absent moral compass conspire to deny women, children, and men of the right to freedom. And the average price globally to buy a human being out of slavery is $90. At the Passover Seder, the words are read, "In every generation we must each regard ourselves as though we personally had just left Egypt." It is almost impossible to imagine the experience of being kept in bondage by another human being. We have all kinds of struggles and strife and woes and worries, but that one's hard to wrap your mind around. Of truly not controlling your freedom. It's hard to wrap one's mind around being subject to such twisted cruelty, driven by sadism and greed. And no matter how challenging it can be sometimes to see the holy within other people, because sometimes it is hard to see the holy within other people, I cannot fathom feeling the urge to deny another person their humanity and autonomy. I cannot imagine using my energy and influence in the world that way, and I bet you cannot either. I have, though, witnessed the work of many different inner pharaohs. I have felt the inner pharaoh that has kept me in bondage. I have seen it at work in other people's lives. In my ministry and in my life before ministry, I often found myself in the company of people who were not free. It is remarkable and sad to see how many ways that we who know the privilege of freedom keep ourselves and sometimes others in a form of bondage. When I worked with addicts in Southern Ohio, folks who were court referred to treatment, it was the disease of addiction that imprisoned people. Like the fierceness of the Pharaoh, their addiction was unrelenting. Like the Pharaoh's unchanged attitude in the face of dreadful plagues visited upon the people of ancient Egypt, the addicts that I worked with and cared for could and often would endure all manner of horrors, and yet still could not set a foot on the path that would lead them to their own freedom. And maybe you have experienced this too, in your life or the lives of loved ones. These wonderful folks, wrestling with their addiction, endured physical suffering during withdrawal, cirrhosis, brain damage, lost digits. I knew a wonderful, talented trumpet player who lost fingers and couldn't stop drinking. Lost digits, lost limbs, lost jobs, shattered relationships, and homelessness, to name just a few of the plagues that wouldn't sway the inner Pharaoh for those folks. We would love to get you a glass of water, because that feels like it would be very uncomfortable. Thank you, Laura. Years later, when I worked for a well-known weight loss program, it was self-loathing and shame and the inner voice of cruel judgment that oppressed so many of the members that came in each week to be weighed. Hatred of the body and an overwhelming sense of failure and inadequacy crushed the spirits of many, preventing them from experiencing the marvel of their embodied form and the fullness of just being alive. And the system sadly really fed their self-hatred. It kept people coming back and buying the product. Advertising works. But there was one woman who stood out for me and stands out for me in memory, who came to that program. I saw her every week that she came to be weighed. She's taller than I am. She was older than I am. I was in my 20s in those days. And she was very beautiful. She's beautiful, statuesque, beautifully dressed. She always had a great scarf. She's one of those people who could tie a scarf in ways that you just marvel at. You see, like, wow, how did you do that knot? You know, she just had that kind of flair. But of course, everyone who comes in to get weighed takes everything off because they don't want anything to count toward their weight. So she'd strip all this stuff down to her slip. And she would get weighed, and we'd record the number, because in those days you did it by hand. I don't know what they do now. And depending on what the number was, she would choose a sticker. She'd always choose a sticker from her sticker book. She had a sticker book that went along with her weight book. And the weeks when her weight went up the tiniest bit, she would put this ugly pig sticker next to the weight. It just breaks my heart to even tell you. She hurt so much. And there was nothing anyone could say that was going to shift that for her. That inner Pharaoh had her and wasn't going to let go. In ministry, I see oppressions that shackle the magnificent and marvelous creative human spirit. There are a great many among us right now who live with a robust inner tyrant who prevents us from fulfilling our purpose in life unfettered. Our inner Pharaoh just diminishes our very lives and spirits. Man, does that thing get in the way and keeps us from being free. Truly free. According to the 20th century Trappist monk Thomas Merton, the most important question in life is not, are you happy, but are you free? Are you free? The inner tyrant takes the form of fear and can be a loneliness that keeps us from reaching out to others. It is sometimes shaped like depression and doubt that says we're not good enough. It's that fourth drink or third slice of cake or second workout of the day to satisfy an emotional need. It's judgment and self-recrimination that brings shame instead of encouraging growth and change and compassion and comfort and love. It's anxiety that won't loosen its grip. You know that anxiety that gets you in the middle of the night and keeps you from sleeping? It is everything that keeps us from achieving our potential. It's the blockage, constriction, and limitation that stands in the way. For each of us, there is a unique and deeply personal inner Pharaoh to be liberated from. Sometimes it's been there since childhood. Sometimes we add to the pharaohs too. I have a collection, I don't know about you, and I wrestle with them all the time. No matter how many we've got, we share the goal of spiritual freedom. That is the goal of the spiritual life, our freedom. Freedom from the illusion that we are powerless, insignificant, or unworthy. Freedom from our small-minded and disempowering thoughts. Freedom from limitations, self-imposed or imposed by others who themselves are not free. Freedom from the inner Pharaoh. Freedom to awaken to our true and authentic and glorious and peculiar self. In the words of Liana Orlando, spiritual work is about deliberately undergoing transformation, the kind that takes us from being a caterpillar in a snug cocoon to being the butterfly who's sort of baffled, I guess, at first at what this new experience is going to be like, and they spread their wings and know no boundaries and soar into the infinite sky. This Passover, we've got days ahead to think about this. This Passover, may we each find renewed energy and commitment to challenge the pharaohs that we see and experience within our society, within our world, and within our interior life. During the observance of Passover, we are reminded that in each generation, each person is obligated to see herself, himself, themselves as though they came forth from Egypt. As free people, we are obliged to liberate the enslaved, to uplift the oppressed, to unshackle the confined. This is the work of Passover. This is our work. May we hold before us the words of Bishop Desmond Tutu. Liberation is costly. It needs unity. We must hold hands and refuse to be divided. Let us be united. Let us be filled with hope. And let us be those who respect and lift up one another. Friends, today I'm going to invite you to participate in a ritual reflecting upon our pharaohs, those within and those beyond, that which we would like to be released from in this life and in this world. Volunteers will pass around baskets that have within them a little piece of paper and a pencil. You cannot use another piece of paper. Do not tear off a piece of your order of service. I'm going to invite you to sit in some contemplative space in silence to the music, no chit-chat, to think about what it is that you would like to be released from, what you would like to see dissolved from this world. If you do not want to participate in this ritual, that is just fine. There is no pressure. But if you would like to, please take one of these little pieces of paper and a little pencil and write down what you would like to be released from. Ron, if you would like to participate too, I want to give you an opportunity to do that. For those who are joining us from home, I am so sorry that I could not do this with you at home, but I will send you the paper if you would like it. If right now you would like to write yours down on a piece of paper and shred that baby, you go ahead and do that. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to invite you all to fill those out. Go ahead. as you're ready, as you're comfortable, I invite you to come forward or send forth your little piece of paper with someone else if coming forward is difficult for you. We will dissolve them in this bowl of water. We will dissolve from this world those things from which we'd like to be freed, at least symbolically today. I invite you to come forward as you're comfortable. Ron will keep playing for us. I invite you to join with me in prayer and meditation. We hold those things that we've written down on the little pieces of paper, and we imagine them being dissolved just as that little piece of paper was. If only it were so easy. But we hold out hope. We hold our tender hearts and refuse to let them become hardened or bitter, and we do the work to dissolve those things that we seek to be released from within us, around us, beyond us. We hold each other in heart and mind. Every person here is something that they'd like to see erased from this world. Some oppressive force that weighs heavy on them and others. Let us be tender with each other as we go about the tasks of every day. We pray for our world. And we understand that prayer doesn't necessarily change the world, but prayer changes people, and people change the world. So may it be, and amen. We have reached the closing words of our service in our changed order of service. I share with you the words of the Reverend Robert Shively. The Talmud says that this world must have no fewer than 36 good human beings privileged to view the divine presence at work in the world, and who, by their simple acts, ennoble life and justify the continued existence of humanity. May you each be one. I invite you to rise as you're comfortable and join in our closing hymn, number 121, We'll Build a Land. one of the ways that we build the land that we want to be a part of, the land where justice rolls, is to share with each other our sorrows and our joys. There was not a place in our service today for joys and sorrows, but I'd like to add them now.
Okay, if you're gonna
We
say that.
begin, we begin there. We begin
We did this
honoring
last week.
our sorrows.
We did this last week.
You did these last week?
Yeah,
Okay. Then why are they here?
I don't know, but these were, but they were last week.
Well, we give thanks that these are last weeks and folks are healing and doing well. Okay,
Okay,
all right.
okay, we'll extinguish the chalice. The words will be on the screen. Please join me. We extinguish the flame, but may the hope of truth, the warmth of love, and the energy of action burn bright in our hearts until we are together again. Blessed be.
You are free.
Last week, our minister